Alright, how we doing, folks? Your boy Mark's on 5 numbers after name. Now, let me tell you something, man. If you ain't into the murder game, right? If you ain't into like laying it down heavy, putting in that work, and if you really ain't into like just killing people on like the turret on the Normandy map, then you probably just ain't gonna be that into this video. I'm gonna lay it down right here, man. This is the most kills I've gotten in a row in the game. I put in the serious work over here with the turret. I always joke with the captain, you know, when I'm on this, I'm like, yo, I'm the mellow man in this map. Yo, first off, impossible to beat me at the top dog thing on this map. Like especially on this side of it. Like I rack up so much points. I'm always gonna be top of the leaderboard when I play on this map, and it's mainly just because of the work I put in the turret. I could care less if the guys are coming through the middle, if they're capturing A, if they're even capturing B. I don't care. I am strictly focused on one thing, and that's laying down the murder game to these fellas over here on the beach. Now, since we introduced the cavalry division now, it makes us that are trying to lay down the murder game a little bit more difficult, because like they just have a shield. But thankfully, you'll notice I kind of work around those guys anyway, and still make it all work out in the end over here, man. So I finally got the 30 in a row here, the Vicious. I've got a Brutal a couple times, put it on the channel. I think I got it up to 27, 28 or something like that. And I've always gotten popped or the game run out or something along those lines. But I finally managed to pull it off and achieve success in terms of the Vicious over here, man. It was cool, man. Like, I was generally nervous. It had been a minute since I'd played a game where I'd been like that nervous. I guess I played Mario Party a few weeks ago. I was a little bit nervous then, but that's a different type of nerves. That was more just like I don't have any control of what I'm doing. This is like I have full control of what I'm doing. Dang, like I better get this right. And like the tough part is I kind of noticed it just timing wise. I got like a little reminder. I think I forget. I posted a picture on Instagram and it showed up on Facebook. It reminded me like around March-ish last year, February, March is when I got like my nuke. I guess it was 2 years. Whenever Black Ops 3 was out, is when I got like the nuke equivalent in Black Ops 3, that 30 in a row, the nuclear thing. So I'm a little bit behind on World War II. I hadn't got it yet. So I was a little bit nervous about that. I was like, "What's going on, man? We never gonna get it. We're never gonna do it. It's a different game. Like you die so quickly over here, and it takes so much time for like your health to regenerate and stuff. So there's a ton of reasons and excuses I could put on here as to why I wasn't able to get this earlier. And even this way, it's still not like in a regular multiplayer. Like this still doesn't count to me the same that it would count as a multiplayer match where there's so many different scenarios. But for purpose of actually getting the damn thing over there and putting up some footage saying I got it. I mean, it's just a different kind of way of getting it over here. But it doesn't take the same significance, and I hope to still be able to put up here before the World War II era is done. You know, that murder game again over here in Nuke, man. There really isn't too much like of a tip I could kind of give, you know, when trying to get something like this. Once again, this is a little bit of an exceptional one because I'm literally behind the turret just putting in work. Some things do apply. Like I think the number one tip I give is be aware of your surroundings as much as possible. Use as much of your resources as much as possible to know what your surroundings look like. So what I've always had in like different games and whatnot is I'm constantly looking at that mini map, and it's one of the things I'm nervous about going into Black Ops 4 because I know there's changes to the mini map and you can only kind of see stuff ahead of you, or if you're playing something with a camera or something like that, like that's the only way you can like see that stuff. So I'm a little bit nervous as to how that's gonna work and look like, because I live and die by the mini map, and I guess that's part of the reason why they're trying to get people weed me out, you know. And I always look at it when I play the game, especially when this one came out. This one has like a very small mini map for me, so I wasn't a big fan of it to the point where there's literally a perk that lets you get a bigger mini map. So that just lets you know how small the mini map is. I didn't really like that because you're kind of it restricted what I knew about like the maps and where I was going and what I was doing. Now you know maps a little bit better. You know the spawns. You kind of imagine like where people are coming from. Some of the spawns are still pretty erratic in this game. You kind of get an idea. Some of them are just ruthless, man. When you play like Point the Hawk, there's sometimes where like caches spawn like 10 feet away from you because the map is like so covered and there's so much limited space over there. So you got to be like really careful in terms of that, in terms of those maps. And crazy enough, I think Point the Hawk is like where I've gotten closest to getting my nuclear. You know, so being aware of your surroundings to me is like the number one tip. The number two tip is getting the right lobby, right? And that's not really like a tip. That's kind of where luck comes in. But you can't do these kind of things in like these like like, you know, CWL and these like Call of Duty Championship lobbies where like everybody killing and stuff like that. Nah, you need at least like 2 or 3 bozos on that team that you can rack up. I'd say a third of the kills, right? You're trying to get to 30, you need like 2 or 3 bozos that you get at least 10 of those kills off of. Probably more, probably like 15 kills, half the kills on those bozos. You know what? Let's wrap it up. You need at least like 20 kills against those bozos, right? And then you go and put in work against the other people over here. That's kind of like there's a lot of luck scenarios over there, and you kind of go back, and if you look at, I often watch, not often, but sometimes I'll go back and watch some of my Black Ops 2 footage where I got like several, I think 5 or 6 nukes on that. I think 5, yeah, 6. No, I got 6. I got the Jordan. And a lot of it's luck. Like I really remember going back to some of those videos and looking at them and being like, oh, hold up, this is when that happened, and I didn't know that this was gonna happen there. And that was like crazy and stuff like that. Or this is like, oh, I thought that guy was spawning here, he actually spawned there, and thankfully he just didn't look my way. And there's probably so much more stuff that I don't even know that happens like in this game, or in those games when you kind of have that success. Like I only know like some of the stuff that I see and I happen. But I can't even imagine like how many times someone even spawned like right next to me and I really didn't see him. You know, that like part is really interesting to kind of see just how like lucky you can get. But there it is, man. The Vicious, we put in the work. Operation Neptune, just murdered game from the turret. Top dog in it too. That's always important. Our next goal, man. Get one of them on point to hard. Get one of them on a real map. You know what I'm saying? Bull Marcos, man. Deuces. Also play Kill Confirm. That's pretty good.